Hey there, I'm Critsy and welcome back to Sorcery 4. It's another exciting daytime episode where we'll never be sure if I'm going to get distracted halfway through a sentence or not. Anyway, last time we were exploring the household of this lovely woman who did not deserve me breaking and entering into her home, but she's been very hospitable nonetheless. I'm thinking if there's no way for me to get better, like with time or with help, I might go back to the square, visit the beggar, and then potentially find a way to die. Unless I can go, like, back in the sewer pipe and go to the dock statue, which I doubt. So, so I'm probably just gonna find a way to die and go back to, assuming I can cast the Zed spell. I mean, worst case, I can rewind to back before I came in the first place, but man, I really don't want to replay that. So, anyway, sit, she says. Yeah, I gotta get back into the scene. So what just happened? I just broke into her home. I was coming down the stairs. She was home. She was like, "Oh, what are you doing in my house?" I was like, "I mean no harm." And she was like, "Who are you? Where have you come from?" And I was like, "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." And I told her, and she didn't believe me. And then she did believe me, and she was like, "Wow." Sit, she says. "You sit?" Well, she bustles around, picking up a piece of paper from the table and stuffing it into her pocket. "I'm not sure whether to be honored or frightened of you," she titters. What about that paper was? I'll check next time. Next time I'm going for the table instead. Would you like something to eat, or perhaps play some dice and chat? I do love a good game, but I have scant time for it now that the children are getting older. I would love. I don't know. I kind of want to play dice, but it feels kind of pointless if I'm expecting to die soon. Oops. Play some dice. It seems irresponsible to share a meal. I'll play. What's the stake? She shrugs. No stake. I like to play for the pleasure of playing. Do you barbarians do the same? All right. Very well. She has one eye? Since when? She looks a lot more serious than I was expecting. I expected to see, like, somebody's mom, but she looks like an adventurer. You are from far away. I can hardly believe it. It is true. There is a whole world out there full of cities and people. 3 twos. A few survivors, to be sure, but whole cities? Aw, man. There are whole countries. I would love to tell her. I'm not sure how to convince you. I would love to tell her. You've been misled. The world is flourishing. There are whole countries. There are whole countries. Fuck it. I'll make a bad bet to try to keep. Perhaps it is better not to know. Man, eat some bull. I want to get more dialogue. Oh well. Mocha wins the round. Alright, I'll play seriously now. Alright, I have a 3. I have a 3. What can you tell me about the Archmage? What should I see? And why are there so many guards? Shucks, but I do have a 4. I'm gonna bet 2 4s. What should I see in the city? Well, there's the market. Call! I don't believe you. This kid. Oh. Yeah. I'll play seriously now. From now on, yeah, I wasn't playing my A game before. Tell me of the wider world. 3 twos. There are mountains, fields, villages. And people? Are there lots of people? There are, though most are untrustworthy. God damn! She is schooling me! I'm getting my butt handed to me. I'm surprised you know Swindlestones. What? Oh, you mean the dice. How did it come to be here? I'm gonna bet 2 4s. I'm gonna lose. How did it come to be here? Perhaps it is you who got it from us. A most curious idea. I do like that idea. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Perhaps! I'm going to try to win with my 1 die. How about we begin with 1 3? How about 2 3s? I'll raise that to 2 4s. I don't believe you. I'm going to lose, aren't I? Aha! Nice. Alright. This round, what can you tell me about the Archmage? I'm going to guess 1 4. I have a 4 over here. No, we will not speak of that. As you like. How would you bet 2 3s if I said I had a 4? So, why have you come to Mampang? Something important. It is not the happiest of cities, I should think. People only live here out of the belief that they have nowhere else to live, probably. You flick Molka's final die to the ground with a grin. I win, you tell her. Oh, accidentally clicked out. She used to play in the square quite often, she remarks, but I'm too busy these days, and the guards demand fines for everything. I think I've gotten everything I can out of her. Go ahead and finish playing. I've played enough, you tell her. Oh, of course, she nods, though somewhat sadly, and puts her dice away into a pocket. I would love to talk to her again in the future. You thank her for her hospitality and get up. I'm gonna go ahead and try to fix my sickness. I can always visit her again in the future. The alleys. Once more, you tumble out into the crossroads of the alleys. Yeah. I'm gonna go visit the beggar. Explore the alleys. Go ahead and stay up all night. Walking and such. I have 3 stamina to spare. Oh. Hang on. You enter an alley littered with refuse, buildings, and either side leaning collapsed. Okay. That's what it said. In the dim half-light, you nearly trip over 2 men who are leaning against a wall. They straighten and turn to you. Seems we have a visitor. One says. His eyes are closed, and so are his comrades. These are the deadly red eyes of Carré, whose very gaze can burn. Brother, one greets you, nodding. What are you doing so far from Carré? We are wandering, brother. A moment later, you hear the crunch of footsteps. There is another now standing behind you. Bless them. You raise your hands in wordless blessings. The sightless creatures nod their head in reply. If I be with you too, the creature replies, and stands aside. You continue along the road. Oh, nice. The lane leads off. Another night begins. You need to rest. You should find somewhere to sleep. Nah, I'm going to visit the beggar. If I can. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be out here at night. Shucks. Can I ask the lady about it? The guard in the guard room is asleep. You hear the tramp of guard boots past the front of the building. I guess I'll sleep here. Relaxing, you feel yourself quite ready to sleep before you have even settled your pack. Close my eyes. Your snoozing is interrupted by... Again, like I said before, distracted in the middle of a sentence. Your snoozing is interrupted by a studded boot on your gut. You open your eyes to see a group of guards standing over you, weapons drawn. Who are you? One demands. No one. I'm a traveler. No one. Guard nods. All right, I don't much care. No one sleeping out here can be up to any good. Second guard pipes up. A spy, you think? His clothes don't fit right. First shakes his head. If so, he's just about the worst spy I've ever seen. I was just resting, you declare boldly, but your words fall on deaf ears. We'll let the Gawlers sort this one out. The first remarks with a sigh. It's too hot down here for a decent interrogation. Alright, maybe I'll get fucking executed. Sure. Start putting stuff away. That sounds about right. Sure. Maybe I'll get some fun stuff going on. Maybe I'll figure out something new. Bound and dragged, you are dragged by your ankles by two guards who mutter about the trouble caused. Oh, I've already seen this before. The tale of your exploits will soon travel through Mampang. This will make it more difficult to blend in from now on. You should escape. Struggle. You struggle and strain, but the guards respond. I should have tried to bribe them. I have 400 gold. What am I doing being stingy? Oh my goodness. You struggle and strain, but the guards respond by kicking you in the ribs until you are forced to stop. Then they pull you along once more. Hopelessly, you are dragged into the office of the commander of the guard. You are inside the commander's office, but it's empty. But for a couple duty sergeants standing by the far door. Take him straight to the dungeon, one remarks. The commander can see him in the morning if he cares to. Okay. In the dungeon. I lost a large amount of gold, found no new clears. The archmage has now heard rumors of me. You are dragged through a narrow corridor, your head bumping against the frame, into a round room that overlooks a line of dank cells. A hobgoblin dozes in the only chair. One of your captors kicks her awake. Vokim! We got a prisoner for you. Play dead. We could Vokim, I guess. Vokim must be the chief jailer. She has 5 key rings pierced through each ear. Interesting. And each hands are set with spikes that must be seared somehow into her bone. Oh my goodness. She uses one to pick at her nostril. She stretches, clearly still half asleep. Has he been to Nagamante? Or the commander? Look pained. Stand upright. Oh, I mean, I know the Nagamenta is somebody I'm meant to visit. Look, pain. Ooh, oh, ooh, I've been tortured. The guard shakes his head. Commander sent him to you. Vokim makes no move to lead her chair, but unclips and hands over a large key to the guard. Lucky me. Second to the right. The guards grumble, but drag you into a cell. Leaving you bound, they strip you of your possessions, storing them in a chest near Vokim. Oh, fuck. Oh. No. My possessions. My possessions. Wait, hang on. My items. I'm gonna lose everything. Oh, no. Look around. You have been in cells before, of course, but these are different. They're not underground, but rather they are built high up in the air, carved from the rocky slopes of the mountain itself. Metal bars block one wall. Opposite of them is nothing but a long drop. Chill wind draws at you. It still says that I have gold, though. Like, if I die now, will I really be without? Whatever. Chill wind draws at you, pulling threads of straw over the edge. There isn't much else to the cell. It's not meant to hold prisoners for very long. Most likely they are quickly executed. You struggle vainly against your bonds, but they hold fast. I can't cast a spell. Peer over the edge of the cell. You shuffle to the edge of the cell and peer over the long drop down. Below stretches the inner college of Mampang. Clustered stupas and ziggurats, linked by stone walkways and crackling with flashes of starlight. Almost directly below you is a large crystal dome, inside which shadows and shapes seem to move. Look into the dome. You stare down at the dome, and for a moment you seem to see reflected in the glass images of yourself, stretched out on a mattress of straw, rolling this way and that. The vision clouds over once more. Interesting. Oh, it's like a jumbo crystal ball. Okay. I would love to go there. But next time, because I need to find a way out of this situation. There seems to be nothing for it but sleep. You crawl and scrabble over the straw and throw yourself down onto it, but you cannot get comfortable. Something is sticking in your back. Search. Moving this way and that, you eventually dislodge it from the hay. A glass bottle clatters across the stone as it rolls towards the edge. Catch it? You hurl yourself across the floor, catching the bottle at the very edge of the cell before it can roll out of sight, and without going over the edge yourself. Look at the bottle. The bottle is wine from some ancient cellar, label curled and faded, but the cork is rotted away and the contents have long since evaporated. Smash the bottle, I guess. I'm gonna try to break out of my bonds, cut my bonds with the glass. Your eyes light up as it shatters into a score of palm-sized pieces of jagged glass. Cut my bonds with the glass. You turn around and squat down, working the piece of glass up and down between your palms. Then begins the painstaking work of sawing against the rope. You can hardly hold on to the makeshift knife in such an awkward position, but after many minutes of effort, you weaken the ropes. Pull! With a mighty pull, you break the weakened ropes, and then you yank the filthy gag out of your mouth. You are now free. Almost. You need to get the door open. Oh, yeah? Hello? Not about to force me to rewind, are you? You're gonna force me to rewind, aren't you? Hello? Do what? I can't move. Oh, hang on. I can't. What? Why can't I rewind here? What? Huh? What the fuck? Oh man, alright, I guess I can only really rest, maybe, or jump. Or over the edge of the cell. I mean, I'm getting the feeling that I would live if I jumped down there, so I need to find a way to die. I'm thinking I might just, like, let them execute me. I will curse them with the Z spell at the moment of my death. Into the dome. Lie on the straw. Search the straw. Just rest. Just rest. Just go to sleep. Just go to sleep, dude. The night passes quickly. You've discarded your disguise and found no new clues. You wake in the morning and get to your knees. A moment later, the cell door opens. There you are, crows the jailer, as she stomps into your cell with a knife. She leans down over you and slices through your bonds. Now, are you ready to confess to old Volkeen? I'm innocent. Oh, my mistake then, she replies, waving a hand towards the open cell door. Off you go. I'm innocent. But I'm innocent. This is a weird segment. I'm innocent. Off you go. Alright, bye. You nod and head for the door, but she snatches an arm and yanks you back. Don't be so stupid. She growls, no one in Mampang is innocent. No one is important. You're my prisoner and you stay here. Alright. I'm innocent. Oh, my mistake. Off you go. Don't be so stupid. The fuck do I do? Punch her. You waste no time in throwing a punch, but she dodges quickly, jabbing you with her knife. None of that, she growls. I'm in charge here. Charge her. You rush at her. Tickle? The two of you hit the stone floor and begin to roll. What are you doing? Shrieks Volkim. You're crazed. You rolled too far, too fast. A moment later, you are over the edge of the cell. Each of you is hanging on by your fingertips at the lip of the cell. Oh, I see. I could tickle her. Tickle her. Hee 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 hee. You reach over and tickle her under the armpits. The full spectrum of emotions flashes across her face. Surprise, joy, disgust, fear, horror, desperation, panic. But even though she knows what is happening, it is not enough to stop it from happening. She laughs, her arms coming down to her sides, and she falls. Pull myself up, I suppose. I need to get my stuff from the chest and then die. Search the room, get my things back. You you soon find the chest containing your possessions, which you unlock with the jailer's keys. Sitting at the bottom of the chest is a small pouch of gold, which you scoop up. Go back to my cell? No. I mean, would be fun to free the other prisoners. Let's see what happens if I free the others. You unlock the cells of the few prisoners that share the dungeon with you. They all look half-starved. Most flee immediately, with barely a glance back. One man stops to shake your hand before disappearing. He has the look of a hardened killer about his miserable eyes. Leave. You want to waste no more time here. You ascend the steps cautiously, but meet no resistance. The prisoners have left the far door hanging wide open. You have escaped the dungeon, but that may soon be discovered, and the fortress's denizens will be wary of you now. If you are captured again, you might not receive such indifferent treatment. I have no way to fix myself, though. You creep up the cells to the commander's office. It is empty, but the prisoners must have come through here. The armaments on the walls have gone. On the far wall hangs a portrait of a lady. Alright, well, I'm gonna see what happens if I go out there with the prisoners all free, and if, you know, it's just useful information. If I do manage to survive, I'll go up the steps, turn back around. You emerge from the commander's doorway. You are met by a terrible sight. The courtyard is filling with clashing metal and cries from the guards and prisoners fighting in the middle of the yard. The buildings opposite are burning, thick smoke coiling upwards from their roof. Join the fight. We stand with the Analander? Oh shit, you swagger into the fight, cutting down guards left and right. After all a while, a great cry goes up. We stand with the Analander. The prisoners are rallying behind you as though you were a leader of an invasion. Suddenly, there's a cry in the sky. A birdman wheeling down towards you. Slash at it. You slash at it as it comes down, but it simply catches your blade, and it's hard, iron-like talons. But I got my magic. It's a magic blade. It's a legendary. Then it grabs for you. You wait for the talons to sink into your flesh, and they do, but with a staggering delicacy, lifting you like a petal into the air. Oh, man, I want to die! I'm sick! Please! Please! Oh. Wherever you take me. Where else? Straight to the top! Who are you? I am a Samaritan of Shin, cries the creature. Your riot has provided enough cover that I might help you. Now hold on tight. There's nothing to do but hold on tight to the creature's legs. Oh, no! Ah, come on, man! This is so inconvenient for me. How am I supposed to beat the Archmage, huh? The birdman rises up to a stained glass window in the tower and screams something in an inhuman tongue. The glass slides open, and the birdman lowers you carefully inside before wheeling about and flying away. Inside the turret? You're standing inside the turret just beside a large stained glass window. This is the... Ow. Just bit my tongue. This is the top of the highest tower in Zamen. This is the Great Garret. This is the garret of the Archmage himself. You are mere footsteps from your goal. Ready myself. You take a deep breath and ready yourself. Then you reach out and try the handle of the door. It turns. The door is not enchanted nor cursed, not even locked. After so many miles, so much hardship and pain, the final door is well weighted and requires nothing more than a gentlest of push to open. He ain't even up here, is he? Climb the stairs into the garret. It is a tiny room. It is a tiny stone room. The walls plastered with astrological charts, some ancient and some so fresh that the ink still gleams. In the corner of the space is a desk, and sitting behind it. Is that him? Is that him? Behind the desk is a wizened old man with long shocks of black hair. He holds a quill pen and looks at you curiously as you enter. Yes, can I help you? I am the Analander, you declare, and I have come to take back what is ours. The man looks back at you sadly, silent for a moment. Doubt begins to creep into your heart. Can this truly be the cruel Archmage of High Zamin? He seems tired, even shy. I see you have traveled a long way, he remarks. You must be tired. Please, sit. We may talk as equals for a moment. All right, sure. Cautiously, you move towards a seat indicated. It seems like ordinary wood on an ordinary patch of flat stoned floor. All right, sit. The Archmage relaxes a little and risks a small smile. Better. Now I don't have to crane my neck to look at you. Reaching across the desk, he lifts the stopper on a decanter and pours 2 glasses of thick red wine. He pushes one across the tabletop to you. I want the crown, nothing more. Crown of Kings! He nods. Of course! He gestures at his head. I am not wearing it, as you can see. Wait for him to continue. Gesturing for him to continue, the Archmage nods. He seems to be chewing something over. Do you know, Analander, that what it is the crown does? Do you understand its power? Do not waste your final breaths. Crown controls the will of others. Precisely, but perhaps you have not quite understood the depth of that. The crown is a grimalkin. It is set with jewels of gold and lined with a ring of bone, and covers the wearer's skull and cloth. It generates spells of both illusion, worship, and mental insight. It's more powerful than a mere grimalkin. It is powerful indeed. The Archmage puts down his wine glass. Understand this. The crown does not command. The crown causes the wearer's desire to become the unthinking thoughts, reflex actions, and spontaneous whims of those around. It occupies the free will itself. It is like any illusion. The power is no illusion. The power is quite real. Those under its command cannot know themselves to be controlled, and nor would anyone else. It cannot be resisted. The crown of kings shapes people the way aeons shape the course of a river. Then it is too powerful for you. I could not agree more, he nods with satisfaction, and too powerful for you, and more to the point, too powerful for your precious king. It is altogether too powerful for anyone. He pauses for a moment, his eyes filled with a strange sadness. You have come a long way for this crown. I see that. You think me an evil tyrant. But I am none of those things. I am the Archmage of the Fortress of Sorcerers, a fading but noble institution, and I spend my days trying to repair the terrible destruction wrought on the lands in my care by your ignorant, reckless uses of the beacons of past light. You placed those beacons yourself. I did, and left untouched, they would have protected the land for 10,000 years. But did you not notice all the towers were sealed? Past light burns with the power of the sun. It must be filtered, measured. But you opened 6 beacons wide and threw them over my land, over my people. He bangs the desk as he speaks, almost shouting. There is a tear in the corner of his eye. Oh, man. I did not know. And you didn't stop to think! His cracked voice quivers with rage. I wonder if there is a way to get through that without messing with the beacons. I don't think so. No. No, you were doing that so that people couldn't get in, and I don't think I could have gotten in if you didn't. If I didn't do that. I've done what is necessary. The fate of the world is at stake. Is it? Because I have the crown? Annalander, I do not have the crown, and I never did. Look him in the eyes. You stare at him. He gives every appearance of honesty. Then where is it? I'm so sorry. I know how hard it will be to accept what has been done to you. But can you not, on some level, feel it? Do you not sense that you are not in control of yourself? Oh, man. Listen. Stay quiet, listening with growing horror. You have been under the spell for some time. I can imagine how it began. Most likely there was a day in Analand, perhaps near the wall, when you awoke. When you woke up and your will was not your own. And since then you have been compelled to march here to do me harm. It is my mission. So you say, and yet consider this. Do you even know what this crown looks like? This object that you have traveled so far, so single-mindedly to find, it might have been lying on a table in the first village you passed through, and you would not have known. Am I correct? It is my purpose. I don't know. No, hang on a minute. This dude's... Oh, I can't leave the Sorcerer's Spike. This is like a unique map of its own. I personally spoke to the ghosts of your misdeeds. I personally spoke to them. It is the Crown of Kings! It is the Crown of Kings. Sorry, I was distracted for a second. It is, but do you know what it looks like? And does it not seem strange that you were not told? He shakes his head. My good man, you have seen the crown already. You have stood in its presence, but you do not remember. Perhaps you think it was a dream. Such is the power. But what else but the crown could have sent you on such a journey as this, at such terrible cost? I dreamt of it, yes. You're lying. I do feel like he is lying, but I'm interested in where this is going. Dreams, voices, deep inside, fighting for your attention. Another question, then. You introduced yourself as the Annalander, correct? Correct. My friend, are you truly so far gone that you do not even know your own name? His words echo around the tiny room. Paper charts flutter. Your memories of Analand, the king, and childhood in Crawberry Wood all suddenly seem so distant, like vague mentions, half-remembered stories, mere snippets. The crown is so powerful. How could my birdmen have stolen... If the crown is so powerful, how could my birdmen have stolen it from your king? Continues the Archmage, gently now. Think, Anlander. Think for yourself, just once, before you strike me down. You lie. I've seen the ghosts. I've talked to them. You lie. You murmur weakly, but your conviction is faltering. The words of the Archmage are settling into your mind with 1,000 tiny hooks. How did this quest begin? Waking in the hut in the northern settlement, sword ready, dreaming of the crown. Where were you before that moment? How did you come to be on this quest, for which you have given so much? Stand. You get to your feet, head reeling. The Archmage looks at you with compassion. It is upsetting to hear. I understand that. I remember everything, but if you're... I remember everything, you declare stubbornly. Answer me this. How many sisters do you have? What colors are your mother's eyes? How old are you? You shouldn't need to think to an answer. No, you're lying to me because I've seen all kinds of evidence that you've destroyed shit. And the people here are, like, weird and obsessed, right? You're trying to do it to me. You're trying to get in my head. You're trying to gaslight me right now. Draw my sword. Enough of this, you growl, sword springing into your hand. The Archmage begins to talk more quickly. Evidently, I imagine your king must have sent you simply to kill me. Your king has the crown, and he knows that we in Mampang Fortress are the only ones capable of countering its power. The crown can be countered? All magic can be countered, but to counter the crown, one must cast a spell in the presence of the crown that its wearer... must cast a spell in the presence of the crown that its wearer does not want cast. It is quite impossible. I am sorry, Annalander, or whoever you truly are. Your quest has been a lie. The crown is in Annaland, and you are nothing but an assassin. What do I do now? The Archmage holds your gaze for a moment before replying. First, you should rest. We will find you a chamber here in the tower, away from the hustle and bustle below. Then, when you are somewhat recovered, you will discover what you want to do. Are you gonna fix me, though? Because I can't do magic right now. I promised people I would kill the Archmage, right? I'll see where this is going. Nod. You nod. He's right. Everything he says is simple and true. You are a puppet, tugged along by invisible strings. The Archmage watches you. You stand quite still, breathing in and out. A clarity is entering your muddled mind. Perhaps you are beginning to overcome your orders, the elderly figure observes. That is good. One step at a time. You find you are speaking. Thank you, Archmage. I have been lost for a long time, and I am far from my home. He nods. I understand. We will offer what hospitality we can. You have already met my birdmen, my Samaritans. There are many others here you will like in time, I think. It is most appreciated. You bow your head. You reply, bowing your head. The Archmage gestures to the door, and you take your leave. This is a dungeon. Outside, night has fallen. Several hours pass in a darkened room. You are lying on cold stone. Where am I? You look about yourself. You are on the flagstones of a small cell. A grate high up shows in a little starlight. Look at the walls. The walls are marked with nearly 100 strokes. Have you made them yourself? How long have you been here? Look at the door. The heavy door has a single grill, snapped shut. From nearby, you hear a scratching sound. Who's there? You demand. There's no reply from the shadows. The scratching gets closer. Draw my sword. You reach for your sword, only to find your sword belt is empty. You have been thoroughly disarmed. A tiny figure approaches on spindly legs. You cannot believe your eyes. It is Jan, the Minimite you encountered outside Biritenti. Jan! The creature stares at you, then rushes forward and wraps its spindly arms around your leg. You again! It chirrups. Do you have any idea how hard it's been to follow you? You followed me. Or it's good to see you, or what are you doing? You followed me. I did my best. I didn't want you to know. I thought you might send me away, or worse. But why? I thought you left. We Minimites aren't entirely without magic. I stayed far away enough that you could cast yours, except once. When? You don't remember? Well, I'll leave you to remember for yourself, maybe. But I'm sorry. You won't be able to cast anything now, and I can't escape. They clipped my wings. Jen turns around and shows you the ruins of his back. Oh, deep scars pucker the skin between his bony shoulder blades. Poor dude. How did you get here? I'm so sorry. Why did the guards do that to you? Will you heal? Will you heal? Grow them back, you mean? Of course I will. Limbs usually grow back, don't they? The creature scowls. Don't be an idiot. Why did the guards do that to you? To stop me getting away. Can't have Minimites running around freely, not in a place like this. Makes a mild chuckling noise. Haha. But now you're stuck as well. I suppose we're back together. So, what's your plan? How do you get out of this? You don't have a key, do you? Do you? Let me check my pockets, replies Jan sarcastically. What happened to the people in the Plague Village? I do want to know. They all trooped to the Crystal Waterfall by the time we got there. The magic had mostly run out. Hard to say why. We saved some. Only some? Only some. Then I left and flew after you. If you really have no ideas, then I suppose we'd best get comfortable. I know a few songs we could sing. Like what? Oh, really? Oh, really? I see. Jan replies sharply. You can't have given up already. I won't allow it. He stamps his tiny feet on the flagstones below. Look around the cell. Look around the cell, regarding the walls, the door, the rafters with care. The place seems quite solidly built. The only opening is a tiny air grate, a little larger than your balled fist, set some more than twice your height in the wall. The little creature hops a little closer. From outside the window, the sounds of chanting and clanking metal drift upwards. The armies are assembling, the Minimite murmurs. Now you've been found. They're leaving for the Backlands. I have failed in my mission. Where are they going after that? Where do you think? Jen replies. Analand, Bryce, Ruddlestone, Lumley, everywhere. The Archmage intends to unite the entire old world. You mean invade? I mean destroy. He goes over to a wall to scratch his back against it. Pray for aid? You close your eyes to pray, but there is nothing. No god and no spirit can reach you here. You are quite alone. Charge for the door. You set your shoulder and brace your elbow, then charge at the door. You might as well have charged into the stone walls themselves. The door does not even shake. The situation is hopeless. You sink down against the wall. If you had not lost your ability to cast magic, perhaps there would be some escape, or perhaps not. You have been locked in here with a Minimite. I wonder if I would have had the option to kill Jan to cast magic, but it hardly matters, perhaps. What follows is a slow, agonizing death, listening to the sounds of the army of Mampang as it recedes into the distance on its way to war. What is my fate? You have starved to death in a cell. Why didn't he just kill me? As your body grows cold, you dimly sense the mold in your body dropping away. The power of spellcasting returns to your veins, almost too late. Upwards! And, yep. Oh, I found my death, and I did get to see what happens if you cooperate with the Archmage. You said you do not cast the spell, rather it casts you. back to the narrow alleyways. So now I know, the Samaritans are apparently not rebels. You hit the ground in one piece, and in the thin alleyway leading from the grate. It is where you met the beggar, but he is nowhere to be seen. The Archmage's army is gone. The sorcerer's spike stands firm once more. You have another chance, but how can you overcome the Archmage? He knew you were coming. He was waiting for you. How can you possibly hope to defeat the terrible power of the crown? There must be another way. There must be another way to reach him. A quieter way. A way to steal inside the tower without the Archmage's knowledge. He's the greatest seer that ever lived. You'll need to shield yourself in a magic more powerful than even his, and find a way into his tower that he cannot guard against. You need to find an unseen way into the sorcerer's spike. Check myself over. You pat yourself down. You are quite alive. Once more, you have all your possessions, and gold and knowledge intact. The narrow alley mouth opens onto the square. Must be morning by now. You have been awake all night, and you are weaker for it. Is that going to happen every time I come back here now? Like, am I going to always lose stamina when I rewind? Because I was stayed up all night. Okay, whatever. I'll catch you next time. That was really cool. I mean, I'm not even sure he was lying. I mean, I guess I would have to go into, like, I would have to go into the vault, right? Maybe I can destroy the Crown of Kings. I can't remember what the kings were using the crown for. But I mean, I kind of buy that it's a Grimalkin. I'll catch you later, though. Bye-bye.